Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another awesome episode of the Coach's Corner. Yay! Today is a very special day for the Coach's Corner. We have a really special guest and her daughter, both very special guests, actually. But before I get into that, if you don't know about IrisVision and you want to learn more, please go to our website at irisvision.com. There's a lot of great information there about the products that we provide. We have IrisVision Live and IrisVision Inspire. And you can speak to one of our awesome salespeople. They will be able to help you assess which device is going to be a better fit for you according to your eye condition. Or if you are a current IrisVision user and you need a little more coaching or a little more assistance with your device, you can always call into our awesome support line. Our support team is always ready to help as well. And if you need another coaching session, they're more than happy to set you up with me or one of the other coaches. The phone number is 855-207-6665. All right, and so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this interview because I'm very excited about it. Ann has been using IrisVision Inspire, and she went through coaching with me, and I was just blown away by all the different things that she was doing with her Inspire and how successful she's been so far. So, Ann, can you please just give us a little background about you? About your eye condition, you know, what's happening with your eyes there and when you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed with wet macular degeneration, I think a year and a half ago. And I do have central vision in my right eye, but my left eye only has peripheral vision.
Okay.
So I cheat a lot, sometimes close my left eye and just use my right eye. But with the headset and the IrisVision, I'm able to see the television and see the characters' faces for a change rather than just listening. And I had already converted over to reading on a Kindle because I could no longer read books.
Okay.
But with the IrisVision, I got very annoyed because I wasn't able to finish my Kindle book, and it was a trashy book, and I wanted to know what the end was.
Okay.
The battery ran out on her phone that connected the.
Oh no, the battery ran out right at the good part.
So I ended up finishing it the next day, but I was very annoyed for a while. And I've been doing some knitting, and I can see the stitches much better. But right now I'm knitting on some yarn that you don't have to see. You have to be able to feel the stitches. Sort of cheating.
Wow, so you're using it not only to watch TV and read your books, but also knitting. And do you do any sewing with it?
I haven't been doing any hand sewing and I can't get to my sewing machine because of the junk between the door and the machine. So I haven't tried that, but I probably will end up doing that too.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but how young are you, Ann?
Oh, I'm a very young 82.
A young 82. Awesome. And having so much success with IrisVision after just a year and a half of sight loss. So how did sight loss impact you emotionally, maybe even mentally, Ann?
It's aggravating because I wanted to do some lace knitting and forget it. The yarn's too thin and the needles are too skinny to really be able to do it. I haven't tried it with the IrisVision, but perhaps I will graduate to that stage. I'm not sure though.
Okay.
Lace knitting, even if you have a full eyesight, is difficult.
I couldn't even imagine. It seems like it would be quite detailed and intricate.
It is, but you know, when you knit, stockinette knitting, you have to have very precise tension so the stitches look right. I do more cables and texture knitting, which hides a multitude of sins so that you don't pick up the uneven tension.
Oh, okay. Well, we would definitely love to see pictures of some of your work. You should definitely think about sending in some of those photographs and we could share them on our website.
Well, once I have it, when I get the sweater that I'm knitting now finished, I'll take a photograph. I do have a photograph of a napkin I made for one of my granddaughters. I've made quite a bit of things, but most of the time I don't take photos of them.
We have
Okay.
her. She does.
Okay. And Sue,
Yeah.
Tell us, from your point of view, your experience, your mom's journey of sight loss to then IrisVision. How did it impact you when you found out that your mom lost her sight to wet macular degeneration?
Yeah, so unfortunately, both her parents also suffered from the same condition. And so we knew it was not far from that point that she would also be diagnosed. And so, you know, gradually she knew she was starting to lose that vision. She does get the injections in her eyes to stop the advancement of it. However, obviously, like she said, she lost the vision on the left, the central vision. And I knew she was frustrated. She's an avid reader. She clearly knits, like fantastically knits, beautiful results. And so she wasn't being able to do that. And then she was starting to struggle with just the tasks of paying bills. You know, she couldn't see the full, amount. And so, you know, we went down different paths of using magnifying glasses, an optoelectric machine, and trying things for, low sight. And unfortunately, she got to the point where that wasn't even really working. And so I started to do the research on, what the options were. And, obviously came across IrisVision and, consequently had the conversations with the sales reps and was super, super excited to try them out. But, cautiously optimistic. So my mom's not a techie. She's, yes, she uses a smartphone, but she was, not using a lot of advanced technology. So I knew it would be a little bit of a learning curve, but she's willing to try and learn anything. So I knew she had the right attitude to do it. So we got the device just a little before Christmas. We had our coaching session with you and we both got off going, oh my God, this device is so complicated. How is she going to learn this thing? There are so many things to learn, but we came up with an acronym so she could remember all the different elements of the machine, the mode and the brightness and the contrast and the zooming and so on and so forth. And so, I wanted that Christmas miracle of she put the glasses on and boom, she's seeing everything and like, oh, is not what we got, right? So as you know, as a user of it, there's a learning curve. And your brain's got to adjust and figure out how it's using the device. And so, over the Christmas break, she was with us. And so we would practice a few times a day and, it was slow and she was frustrated and she was still learning them. And then she went back home and she was on her own. And a week later, when we had our second coaching session, I was remote. We were just doing it through voice and I could actually hear the smile on her face, right? If anybody believes that's possible. But the fact that she was starting to knit with it told me she had adapted to the glasses, right? So watching the TV was the easy part for her. The reading took a little more, but the knitting was way harder because of the dexterity and the hand coordination and everything else. But the fact that she was using them and she was irritated that her battery ran out, it was, I got my New Year's miracle. I didn't get my Christmas miracle, but I got my New Year's miracle. So it's been a fantastic journey. And I'm like just thrilled that there's an option for folks with low to no sight, which allows her to engage in all the activities she loves.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was definitely blown away when I called for the second session and she was just giving me all this feedback from her previous week, and she just came such a long way. So there is a learning curve, as you said, Sue, with IrisVision or any assistive technology, not just IrisVision, any assistive technology. And a lot of the time people will feel a little maybe intimidated or scared to try it out because it's their age or it's their sight or it's their ability to, retain the information or whatever it is. But I love how you said that your mom was willing to take the time to learn, like she wanted to give it a chance, because that's what's going to make anything successful. That's in general, it doesn't matter how old you are, you have to give it a chance and try and see how it can change your life and be open-minded to it. And the other thing that I love you said is that she's not quite tech savvy, but she was able to learn this device, right? Which is awesome. And that goes to show that, although it's a little rocky at first, and you're right, it's not going to be, okay, I put it on, boom, I could see. No, there's a process. That's why we have the coaching sessions. So, I like that you said all these things, because this is exactly what a lot of other people go through that are just coming into IrisVision or any other assistive technology. They're thinking that they're going to put this on and boom, just be able to see, when that's not necessarily the case. So, Ann, I'm pretty sure you noticed there's new modes on your device.
I really noticed. I sort of got that from the support staff when I had to get them to help me get YouTube and the video playing on my device. Took a little bit, and I found out I'm much better off keeping my trifocals on and putting the device over them, because when I have to punch buttons, I can't see the buttons without having my glasses on.
Gotcha. So yes, there are new modes on your device, and I'm really excited to go over those with you during one of our coaching sessions. But just for those of you out there, if you're a current IrisVision Inspire user and you had just the default device, the default modes previously, just a couple weeks ago, we launched new modes. And if you want coaching on those new modes, just call into the support line and they'll get you set up with a refresher session. And I am so excited about what's going on with you and Inspire. And it's so really just encouraging to hear how you're using it and how you're being successful with it, because your story is going to impact somebody else's life. And that's the most exciting part, in my opinion, about these type of interviews with my clients, is how everybody has a unique story and everybody's going to be able to learn from you now, because we're on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to the two of you for taking the time to sit with me and chat about your successes and even, some of the challenges that you had along the way. It just kind of brings to light a lot of really great facts about IrisVision that maybe some people didn't really know or were a little confused about, or just, kind of stuck on. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic product. And you're a fantastic coach. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, to the rest of you out there watching, thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you're a client of IrisVision and you want to share your story too, please let us know. You can email TELLUS @irisvision.com, and send in your inquiry about, or your, your request to join me. Ooh, the words left my mind for a second. Your request to join me on the Coach's Corner and share your story too. If you are someone who's using IrisVision and you're doing crafts or something really cool with your device, but you don't necessarily want to be on Coach's Corner, that's okay. Send in your photographs, send in a little video, anything to show us how you're using your device. And with that said, I'll say goodbye to Sue and Ann. And once again, thank you very much. And I look forward to chatting with you too soon.
Right. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
Bye.